This is Sharon. She's our research genealogist.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. These are artifacts that have been kindly donated to us by members and friends, and most of them represent the Germans from Russia heritage. You'll see some things directly from Russia, like the samovars, which they used to heat their water for their tea. And then you see representatives of clothing, of kitchen tools, of maybe farm and implements to make things. A lot of pictures we have, and this is just a small representative of what we have, but it kind of makes people nostalgic because they remember that their grandmother used to knit and crochet and make things, or their father.
Crocheting was really big.
Yeah, or their father worked with tools. So look around, ask if you have any questions.
Later.
Didn't we find one of our great-grandfathers was in the Russian army?
Yeah, our grandfather was in the Russian army.
So when did they make them be in the army? At what point, since that was the promise that they were not supposed to? Because I was really surprised he brought that picture. We got together yesterday at my house.
Yeah, because my dad came over in the 20s from Russia. In fact, we have a picture of the boat he came over to Ellis Island on. The same boat. It's got the name and his birth certificate.
All the
Or
good
immigration papers, whatever it was that we have.
Yeah, so Richard has the double. On our side of the family, his mom's side, that was her parents that came.
stuff. Okay.
And then his dad actually came from Russia, was born in Russia. So his mom was born in the United States, but her older siblings, like my grandma, were born in Russia.
Yeah.
And then, but his dad was actually born in Russia. Who coined the term Russian?
That's probably just how they pronounced it, huh? I don't know.
Because that was the Germans from Russia, right? They called them Russians.
Yeah.
Russians,
So
yes.
I
The
wonder
Ruskies.
how that came out. Yeah, our family stopped in Cincinnati first because one of the brothers was born there, but he was the only one. But she was Grandma Kerber was pregnant with him on the boat. They got to Cincinnati. He was born, and then everybody else was born in Fresno. So last one born in Russia. Their parents were younger than her.
Yes.
And Melvin, he couldn't be here, but he sent this kind of a genealogical chart.
Oh,
And it traces back to 1771
okay.
of the Kerbers through there, and I'm down in this level somewhere. This is my father's and mother's level here. That's my dad right there.
Okay.
This was made for Melvin, so it goes down with his family. But I come in right here.
Okay.
So the Kerbers had 8 children that lived to adulthood.
Yeah.
So 3 were born in Russia, 1 was in Cincinnati, the others were born in Fresno. So that's the Fresno ones were their parents, their dad and mom.
One of the things that, I don't know if you'd like to consider it or not, but we do build family books and store them in the library here for other people that follow behind to come in and do research on. You have a package of information there that could be really important to somebody down the line,
Right.
a grandchild or something who's kind of lost his way and is looking for some reference to where he came from. So if you ever think about it and you want to do it, it's available. In fact, when we go into the we're going to go through the library really quickly. I'll show you the collection of them that we have, and some of them are really intricate. I mean, bound books, actually commercially bound books and everything, and others are just binders that people have put together. But granddaughter just had a child, so that person, when they grow up, may be looking for their roots or where they came from.
Yeah.
So to have a facility like this that'll document some of that stuff for them could be really important to them.
Yeah, that's
If you're interested in doing anything like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The other George Kerber.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, there were at least 2.
This book comes out of this section right here, and this is the section that people have put together their own family histories. They can be bound in things that are very professional looking like that and were actually published, or that, or like the book you have, which is a Kerber book, which was done
It's neat.
Probably not by your direct family unless you go far enough back. A George Kerber there and a George Kerber can be found in early Fresno history, but it's not, that I can find, it's not directly tied, at least in the generational thing I can search. But if you look, a lot of people have already taken the effort and the time and put together really great books about their family history. That's something we would like to build more of here.
Right.
So whatever you all can do to, make that happen would be appreciated.
And
Who's
Art-
the-
So what you'll find in the library here, and Sharon, please help, you know it a lot better than I do.
Okay.
But what we have is village books, so these are studies of the villages, going back into the 1700s, tracing particular villages and the names. They would actually, be the records, the
Census records.
The census records coming forward, so that's available for research. Fresno County is a depository to a lot of official records, and our people early on, out of this building, went down there and started making copies of documents when documents were still available. Now they've been cut off. But we have declarations of intent, a lot of books on that we've copied out of the Fresno County. We've got marriage records, we've got obits, we've got census records from the various villages and everything. We've got marriages. So all of these books are available for people that want to come in and search. Over here, we've got some stuff out of the church histories, like the cross church and everything. But paralleling that, over in the far left-hand corner, are some of the copies of the old actual church books themselves. And you can actually go page by page through there and find, ancestors. I found one of mine mentioned in 1909 by going through the church books. It answered a question to me: who was this person? It identified the person in there and the relatives to that person. All of that stuff becomes very important when you're trying to do an ancestral research. In the middle section is just various books of different sources and different kind. Some of it fictional, a lot of it historical, actual true histories and everything written by people coming, out of Russia that had German heritage. So there's a lot of material in here, a lot of research can be done in here, stuff that isn't going to be found online. A lot of the records can be found online, but there's items in here that are not online, and those become particularly important to people doing a deep dive into their research of their family history.
We also have some funeral home records. And those are informative because they tell the survivors of the person that died, usually.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
No
even
doubt.
list the pallbearers, which a lot of times were family or neighbors
Yeah.
or friends.
And
So
in
those are
those
interesting.
records, your family is listed, because if you look up the Adam Kerber's funeral record, it's listing Stanger.
Yeah.
That's a direct tie, so that's a confirming point with somebody doing ancestral research. Something that those records are not going to be found online. So, that's the importance of coming into a facility like this and having it available.
Well, you need to pack a lunch if you come in or start researching.
You could easily be here 4 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was here probably 3 and I was digging through and
But going up to George, Philip, now, it goes up further than that too. The problem is that in doing the research online, because it's a German from Russia, because of the time period, there's not a whole lot of documents. Families may have documents, but they may not be online. But I wanted to give you an idea of what you can find on Ancestry and how far back you can go. So this takes you back to 1771, if this is correct, and it actually takes you back further. It's got hints to take you back further.
So what information did you use to start this program? I mean, you just put in Adam Kerber?
Okay, the process is you have to buy a subscription to Ancestry. Ancestry can you do two things. You can do just the paperwork, or you can do a DNA. Set aside the DNA for a second. With just this part, the paperwork, you go in and just enter your parents. You enter yourself, that becomes the base person. You enter your parents, then you enter your grandparents, and you enter what you know. Through the magic of the computer, Ancestry starts connecting records from various sources. And so what it'll do is give you these little green hints. And I don't mean to be an advertisement for Ancestry, I really don't. But it's a tool, and it's a useful tool, and it's fairly easy to use.
So what, can you show us what month that they arrived? Because we know it was 1898.
Oh, okay.
And then what month
right.
Conrad was born.
Let
I'm just
me-
curious to how pregnant she was when they got here, because I
Let
know
me
she was, and I was
answer-
like, what? That was, oh, it's
I think the
amazing.
question came up on Amelia, right?
Yes. Oh, I
Okay.
I can't even
can't even
imagine.
So with Amelia, you've got, so here's
McKinley,
the census
Fresno,
of
yeah.
1910, 1920, 1930. You've got the death index for her, which California publishes a death index of everybody that dies. And you can look up stuff there. Here's a document that's coming out of our library, basically. So it's stuff that was photographed, digitized, and then put online. They're using our library as a source. And here's newspapers.com marriage index. So that'll, give you information as to, there's a spouse named Reiter. Is that familiar?
Reiter.
Yeah.
That reader, yeah.
That's Al Reiter there, or Alexander, the spouse.
So, and
Because see, Uncle Conrad was born in July of 1898, so I'm like, when
Arrival.
did they get here?
well, I was looking at,
Oh, they departed in March. Okay, how long did it take? Does anyone
now
know?
this is the manifest as was, they actually left on 19 March of 98, but it doesn't tell you on this overview when they actually arrived.
So maybe
you
first
have to go
beginning
back
of
to the
April or
document.
something. So April, May, June. He was born in July, so she was like 6 years.
See, these are some of the hints that come up. So you're pulling down Madera Tribune, February 1929. It's just various documents that keep coming up.
Yeah, all that's accurate. Is to,
World War II draft records and everything.
Was there a name you wanted to see? Or like
No, I was just-
children or
Hard-headed,
Oh, boy.
stubborn.
There you go.
Get your picture.
Come in closer, come in closer.
you have to stand sideways and make sure it's skinnier. You don't need that.
Wow.
You don't need that, you're fine.
I'm gonna have the cripple one.
Are we in?
That one on my refrigerator. I really like it.
I made these, I love them. These are so pretty. So, my mother-in-law did so many sets of the dish towels with the embroidery on them. And they're so fun.
I'm gonna get one of these. Do you know if there's a